SpaceX went on a tear for 3 straight trading days. The IPO was priced at $135 a share. In 3 sessions, the stock shot to around $202, a gain of nearly 50%. Its market cap briefly passed $2.6 trillion, even overtaking Amazon. The price has since pulled back a bit. But that doesn't change today's real question. Why is the market so wildly obsessed with SpaceX? Part of it comes down to very real supply and demand mechanics. SpaceX just went public, and the share of stock actually free to trade is tiny. Right now, the free float is only about 4.855%. The vast majority of shares are still held by early investors, employees, and Musk himself, locked up under restrictions. Supply is scarce, demand suddenly floods in, and the price naturally gets pushed up. But that's just the surface. What's the real conviction driving SpaceX's surge? There's a deeper reason. Just before the IPO, Musk gave a few roadshow interviews that laid out SpaceX's future in remarkable detail, fully unpacking his entire vision and plan for the company. Today, I'll walk you through it. One was on June 4th, at JP Morgan's New York headquarters, where JP Morgan's CEO interviewed Musk. The other was on June 8th, at SpaceX's factory in Bastrop, Texas, where Musk sat down alongside SpaceX's head of satellite engineering. Piecing these 2 interviews together, you arrive at something genuinely striking. What SpaceX is really selling to the market isn't a few years of earnings. It's a roadmap for upgrading human civilization. In the Bastrop interview, right from the start, Musk took it somewhere no ordinary CEO would go. He said the most objective measure of a civilization's progress is the total energy it can harness. He brought up the Kardashev scale. A Type 1 civilization harnesses the energy of its planet. A Type 2 harnesses the energy of its star. A Type 3 harnesses the energy of its entire galaxy. Musk says humanity ranks low even within Type 1. We've barely tapped Earth's full energy, let alone the sun's. And the sun holds 99.86% of the solar system's mass. Seen at the scale of civilization, we're only just getting started. In the JP Morgan interview, Jamie Dimon asked Musk why SpaceX chose to go public now. Musk's answer was blunt. He said SpaceX is entering a phase of massive capital deployment. Next, he plans to launch over 100,000 communication satellites, roll out 3rd and 4th generation Starlink, build space-based AI data centers, and stand up the Terafab megachip plant. Starlink V3's capability, Musk says, could be 10 to 20 times that of V2. Total system bandwidth could reach 100 times today's. And latency keeps dropping. Starship, the launch vehicle itself, is the foundation for all of it. Musk kept hammering one point. Starship's core breakthrough is being the first fully reusable rocket. Without reusable spacecraft, you can't climb the Kardashev scale, and you can't extend life to the moon, Mars, or anywhere else in the solar system. He used a vivid analogy. If you threw away a plane after every flight, air travel would be unimaginably expensive. Rockets used to work exactly that way. But once Starship is fully and rapidly reusable, the cost of reaching orbit gets completely rewritten. That's why SpaceX can't be valued on today's revenue and profit alone. The real variable is this. If the cost of reaching space collapses, what does that unlock? Layer 1 is Starlink. Layer 2, space-based AI data centers. Layer 3, lunar industry. And beyond that, a Martian civilization. So while everyone else is debating which state to build an AI, whether the grid can land permits, cooling, and all the rest, Musk is asking a different question entirely. Why does an AI data center have to be on Earth at all? And that's the new SpaceX narrative. Put AI data centers in space. At this point, a lot of people's first reaction is, isn't this just hot air? But here's the unnerving part about Musk. He doesn't stop at long-term vision. To everyone's surprise, he even laid out a detailed timeline. He said it's not a promise, but it's the timeframe SpaceX is actively working toward. By end of next year, about 1 gigawatt a year of space AI compute. In 2.5 years, 10 gigawatts a year. In 3.5 years, 100 gigawatts a year. And beyond that, if the terafab chip plant goes well, 1 terawatt a year. Notice the granularity. It's not someday, not in the long run. It's literally 2.5 years, 3.5 years. That's what makes SpaceX so unusual. On one hand, humanity as a lunar mass drivers, terraforming Mars. On the other, it takes this sci-fi sounding future and breaks it into years, hundreds of gigawatts, millions of tons to orbit, hard engineering targets. This isn't the usual empty hype. It's science fiction broken down into a build schedule. Even more striking, Musk even floated the revenue picture for 2030. He projects that by 2030, SpaceX could hit $1 trillion on its own. That number sounds absurd. But put it back into the roadmap, and you see why he dares to say it. Because what SpaceX wants to be isn't a company in any single industry. It wants a full launch, global communication, AI compute, shipmaking, lunar infrastructure, all into one integrated system. If space-based AI data centers really scale from 1 to 10 to 100 and on toward a terawatt, then SpaceX's revenue is no longer just launch services and Starlink subscriptions. It becomes the gateway to the space age, energy, communications, compute, and infrastructure. And that's the real reason the stock exploded after the IPO. The market isn't chasing a rocket or a satellite network. It's chasing an asset with no precedent. Want to own rocket reusability? There's no second option. Want global satellite internet? SpaceX is one of the core players. Want space-based AI data centers? SpaceX may be the only company tying rockets, satellites, comms, and AI demand together for real. Want a ticket to humanity, multi-planet future? Until now, public markets didn't even offer such a thing. That's why SpaceX is unlike Apple, Amazon, even Tesla, which Musk runs himself. Though at this rate, a future merger of Tesla and Space looks fairly likely. Apple changed consumer electronics. Amazon changed e-commerce and the cloud. NVIDIA changed AI compute. But SpaceX wants to change where human civilization stands. From Earth to orbit, orbit to the moon to Mars, from a planetary civilization to a stellar one. Now, a reality check. SpaceX's future will be anything but smooth. Full reusability for Starship still needs to be proven. Deploying 100,000 satellites demands enormous regulatory coordination and manufacturing. Space-based AI haven't faced any real commercial test yet, and building terafab will be extremely hard. The early post-IPO spike, too, isn't all driven by vision. With only 4.85% floating, supply is naturally scarce. The lockups in stages, not one shot at 180 days like a typical IPO. On top of that, the market is front-running expected inclusion in the NASDAQ and even the S&P 500. All of this amplifies short-term sentiment. So over the next year, the market faces two opposing forces. On one side, index inclusion and ETF in driving passive buying. On the other, locked up, releasing in stages, potential selling pressure. As the float gradually grows, SpaceX can't lean on scarcity alone to hold its valuation. It'll have to deliver on engineering and on results. In the short term, it's bound to swing violently, but zoom out to 5 or 10 years, and it may not have even taken off yet. Musk isn't someone who only sells vision. Rocket reusability, done. Starlink, done. Tesla's EV mass production. And FSD self-driving, done. Robotics is taking shape too. So when this man tells you that within a few years, space AI compute goes from 1 gigawatt to 10, then to 100, it's hard to dismiss as fantasy. Especially after this year's AI surge has broken so many people's expectations. Things we once thought impossible are turning real one after another. At a moment like this, the market naturally asks, if the person with the most imagination and the strongest engineering execution can't be believed, then who can? That's the real story behind SpaceX's post-IPO surge. It isn't an ordinary company pitching growth. It's one man standing before the market. I'm going to take humanity to its next stage of civilization. And for now, the market is choosing to believe him. Of course, none of this is investment advice. SpaceX's stock will be tested by reality, and Musk's timeline by engineering. But one thing is certain. This is the first time can take part in public markets, in a capital and business story, whose true goal is upgrading human civilization. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed deep dives like this, like, follow, share, comment, and save. See you next time.